Hey guys, welcome back to Girls Frontline 2. In today's video, there's a few bits of news that I want to go through. The first one being that we've got Papasha. I suck at names. I feel like that's pretty good pronunciation for the way it's spelled, but you guys let me know how I'm wrong in the comments. We do have her announced coming to the game, which leads us to another thing based on the CN version, which is that we should be getting guilds coming to the game as well, which is pretty awesome. So we will talk about Papasha. We will take a look at how she works and stuff like that. She is an SSR, a 5-star, a elite, I believe they call them. I believe that is her classification, but she is one of those characters over on the CN version that you get from the guild shop. So that leads to the anticipation that she will be available through the guild shop again, meaning that we should get the guild function in this update. So we will have to wait and see. It's not 100% confirmed until they actually make an announcement. We'll have to wait and see. But these steady types of things, they seem to be copying the way CN worked. So I highly anticipate that we will be getting the guilds and the guild shops. Now, in the guilds, you got like daily simple missions to complete, like little easy battles. Then you've also got a guild boss, and you've got other like dispatch type missions inside the guild function that you can go to. And then you have extra rewards you get as you get further participation in guild bosses and stuff like that along the way. Now, based off what I've seen is that the guild boss has two sections. When you get above I believe it's level 60, you get to battle the actual boss, whereas pre-level 60, you're battling a group of mobs and stuff like that to contribute for the guild and stuff like that. So once again, not 100% confirmed, but I think we're pretty certain that guilds should be coming in the next update with Papasha as well. Before we go in and take a look at her skills and how she works, there was a couple other things that I had on my list. The first one is that we have got the Macchiato banner announced. This is honestly not a bad banner. My Sharkry is still without any dupes, so Sharkry is a very decent free-to-play DPS. Now, how good is she going to be? Well, when Macchiato comes, she's probably going to be up there with QJ in the top 2. Then we still have Tololo, so Sharkry going down the order. But hey, if you want a nice free-to-play core synergy, even though Krolic often gets rated low, she's a fantastic character when paired with Sharkry. I actually like her in her own right. The mobility for like technical stages and stuff is actually fantastic, and she does have some really good dupes that you can pick up with Krolic. One being that increases the range of her effect at the end of battle, at the end of her turn, where she does the overburn on enemies. It increases the range by like 2 tiles, which is actually a pretty big increase to help you with those Sharkry plays and stuff like that. So it is nice. And then Sharkry, she like increases the duration of her overburn, which is fantastic for self-sufficiency. But once again, if you're using it with Krolic, it doesn't matter. But just looking at that banner, it is a nice banner. I will do a whole should you pull thing. I'll talk about Macchiato versus the going for a dupe on the current banner, or like different options for free to play. I'll go more in depth in that into its whole video. I just want to let you guys know that they did announce the actual banner, and I do think the banner is not bad for free to play players, especially in this early stage of the game when you can still get some really good use out of these characters as well. So that is that one. I mean, I'm really tempted to be pulling on it just because I just want to pull on the banner. I mean, that's pretty much it. That's all I gotta say. I just want to do some pulls, so I will probably do some pulls. That's where I'm at. All right, the other thing is we do have the skin, the ballroom interlude here, overcoming as well for Macchiato when she does drop. There's a nice little wallpaper they've got for you guys over on Twitter if you want to go ahead and get a wallpaper for your phone. But there you go. We've got another skin. I mean, I'm not buying skins, but free to play life, it's pretty tough out there. Not a bad skin if you want to go ahead and pick it up. So those are those ones. Now let's jump back over and let's talk about Papasha and what she has to bring to the table. Let's start with her passive, because that's like a core part to her kit. So passively, and this is really bad translated, so I'm just going to paraphrase in this a bit probably. So basically, she's going to summon a guard when the battle begins. Now, one thing with this guard is if it does die, it'll go into like a repair state, and then it'll have to get through its repair state, and once it's done that, it will restore all its stability and health and be able to act again, and some of the attacks it can't use while it is in the repair state. So just keep that in mind as well, but you can use it to pseudo-tank a little bit as well. After attacking yourself and the city guard, which is her summoned robot, gain 1 Confectance Index. After the city guard deals a critical strike, the critical hit rate of the next attack is increased by 20%. Okay, this is a bad translation. So basically, when the crit, wait, so when you land a critical hit being her, the City Warden's next attack gains a 20% crit rate boost. But when the City Warden lands a critical hit, then her next critical is increased by 20%. So either one critting increases the crit of the other one. That's the way it works. It is worded funny here because it just repeats the same sentence, but that's essentially the gist of how it works. So unfortunately on this side, I got to change it to Chinese to click tab, otherwise the tab disappears, and then I got to click it back to English. Great work on the way this works. All right, so into the next thing. Select an enemy target. This one is a cooldown of 2. So this one just has a 2 cooldown. Select an enemy target within a radius of 6 squares. Deal 150% physical damage to it. The City Guard gains... Perseverance, is that what it says? Dude, my eyes are shut. Which lasts for 2 rounds for each, and then for each buff before the attack, so she has before the attack, the City Guard gains a random attack buff up to 2, which lasts for 2 rounds. Now, the Perseverance is when attacking, the target's damage is increased by the percentage of remaining health up to 60%. So you can get up to a 60% damage boost on that one as well with the Guard. So let's go back over here into this skill. So this one is going to be a 4 Confectance Index cost. So select a grid within a radius of 6 grids, dispelling negative effects on herself, and remove all control, command, prohibition, and freezing status from the City Guard. The City Guard moves to the grid and deals physical damage equal to 150% of its attack power to the enemy target closest to herself. Okay, so that's closest to her. Does that make sense? But I thought it goes to the... Okay, closest to it. Okay. And the damage against large enemies, so bosses, is increased by 50%, by a further 50%. After releasing this, the skill in this round, the City Guard will no longer move on its own, so it loses its functionality on that turn due to this. And then this skill cannot be used while the City Guard is in the repair state. That's like I mentioned earlier, how it has that state if it's been knocked out, where it's got to then go into survival mode, reboot itself essentially, then it gets all its stability and health back after that. Moving on to the final attack, which is going to be a 2 Confectance Index cost, because Confectance Index is a great terminology for something we've got to say a lot. Select an enemy within a radius of 6 squares, causing 80% of attack power to it and all enemy targets within a radius of 1 square. If the select target's stability is greater than 0 after the attack, the City Guard gains the Courage to Resist effect for 3 rounds, which increases the damage done by 30%. The buff cannot be dispelled. There you go. That is a summary of a kit. So, like I said, basically, with her skill 5, which is her passive, she's going to summon the robot. She got some AoE. She can make the robot lock onto an enemy over here, and then she got the single target over here with a bit of increasing damage. So that is the basic gist to the way she is going to work. She's going to be a summoning character. She is not seen as a very top tier character, but I do think the City Guard could be useful, especially early on in some situations for added survival, essentially for pseudo tanking, and when we're doing the 2-team stuff, considering it is a free unit. So we will have to wait and see. But that is her. Like I said, we should be getting guilds based on the way CN works. Along with her in this update, we do have the full banner, which is looking pretty solid. And that is everything I have to go through in this video. So as always, guys, thanks for watching. Hope you have an awesome day, and I look forward to seeing the next one. Cheers.